Republican voters who said, you know what?
I don't even know whose audio that is.
I might just stay home.
Really?
I might not vote for Donald Trump. Now, again, that might change. There's a long time between now.
Right, the heat of
right, the heat of it is a long time between now and November. I might stay
Who
home.
is this?
I
Where
might,
is this
might
audio
write another
coming
name
from?
in. I might.
I hate when that happens. So that's why you're not hearing audio, because I don't even know where that audio is coming from. So we're waiting for Donald Trump to react to Ted Cruz dropping out. This is a crazy day here on Fox 10 News Now. We have covered everything from Ted Cruz announcing to Ted Cruz announcing a running mate to Ted Cruz announcing a partnership with John Kasich to Ted Cruz refusing to wear a cheese hat. I mean, all of his pithy comments towards Trump. We've covered all of the interesting debates. This is such a huge night for huge night for people that are regular viewers of Fox 10 News Now. And I will say too that regular viewers of Fox 10 News Now, they weren't the biggest fans of Cruz. The regular viewers we had seemed to be very pro-Trump. We had a lot of people that really relate to John Kasich, although he does not seem to, he doesn't put himself out there as much as Trump. And even Carly Fiorina argued with the media that they gave Trump too much coverage, but Anderson Cooper snapped at her and said, perhaps your team should have given us more access to you because we requested you a lot and we didn't get you. So we have a lot of viewers that like what John Kasich has to say but don't see enough of him. A lot of viewers that love Donald Trump. And then we have a lot of viewers that are interested in what Bernie Sanders has going on. So I don't think that and tweet me if I'm wrong. I'll put my Twitter handle on screen. Tweet me if I'm wrong, but I don't think that your reaction. Tweet me and I'll read them on air until Trump takes the stage. I don't think a lot of you are that disappointed by this, to be honest with you. I don't think a lot of you expected it. I certainly didn't, especially with the chaos we dealt with earlier this morning with Cruz coming out and doing that press conference and saying that Trump was a pathological liar and a philanderer and all of those things. I don't think anyone, with how forceful he was this morning, ever would have assumed that by 5 o'clock our time, 6 o'clock our time, that he was going to suspend his campaign. It's absolutely insane. So if you are a regular viewer, you are as invested in this as we are, because we've been covering this political season so heavily. They play Fox 10 News Now videos at Donald Trump rallies. Yes, they do. This is a huge surprise. We are very eager to hear what Donald Trump has to say. But again, typically, and I don't even know if I've heard if Bernie or Hillary are Tacoma, Indiana. I don't even know if I've gotten, the Cruz dropping out has totally crushed that aspect of today's primary. I don't even think I've gotten a steady answer in regards to who won on the Democratic side. Last time it was too early to call. We're waiting for Trump to react to this, but again, it will be a shorter speech. Cruz's was kind of a breakdown of his resume and a list of some personal highlights, and his speech was only about half an hour, and that was including Carly Fiorina's speech as well. So we are waiting to hear Trump talk. He is usually pretty long-winded, except when it comes to these victory speeches, and hopefully he will be kind and humble, because I think if he is kind and humble, it will, at this point you've got to, as that random voice we overheard was saying, some Republicans don't like Trump. Some Republicans don't want Donald Trump. They don't think he is a reflection of them. So at this point, he needs to be humble, and he needs to be kind, and he needs to be thoughtful when it comes to Ted Cruz. And I thought that his reaction earlier today was reasonable and wasn't, almost like the loose cannon that we've seen in the past. It was very thoughtful, but he needs to be this kind, humble person to sway these voters in his direction. He cannot come out and gloat. He shouldn't. I think that the core audience he's already established would like that and would relate to it and would get a kick out of it. But he really can't be that character at this point, because it is crucial that he gets that Cruz audience. And I mean, I don't think I've ever seen him aggressively go after Kasich, and I don't know if there's a reason to, because Kasich doesn't aggressively go after him. It really almost was it really almost was egos going after each other in the sense of Cruz and Trump. And I don't know if it will be as entertaining to watch Kasich versus Trump. Because Kasich tries to be as aggressive as Trump, but it never feels genuine. It never feels sincere, and it never really has, because Trump was the first one to pull this card of tough guy, uncensored. I'm going to say what I feel. The Jeb Bushes of the world, the Marco Rubios of the world, they realized that people wanted that tone, and they tried to conform, and it was so insincere that people really rejected it, and they rejected them. I never saw Scott Walker do that. I never saw Scott Walker really try to get tough. I think he, gave up early on. Ben Carson, I never saw him do it. In fact, when Trump came after him in a really unnecessary way, I think Ben Carson's a good man with a good moral compass. Ben Carson responded in a kind way, but look, they made up, and Carson has helped campaign for Trump as well as now. Chris Christie did have the tough guy image prior to Trump running for president, but I think Trump was the face of this campaign, or this election season, way before Chris Christie was. Now, give me a second. I want to check the audio again, and if the audio is still connected to some ghost, some phantom network, I am going to have to talk to my production people.
Especially because of what Dana was saying earlier, which was spot on. If anyone in the Senate really had the stomach.
Yeah, because I want to make sure that we're going to get the correct audio when Trump comes out. So what's happening right now is I have this visual feed for you, but my audio is not correct. So I just want to make sure I'm going to get the right audio for when Trump takes the podium. But we are waiting for him to react to the fact that Cruz has dropped out. I don't know. I don't know how long you've been watching, but towards the end of Cruz's speech, I switched over where Cruz was in the small box, and the majority of the room was this visual, and everyone was watching Cruz drop out on a television screen. And as he dropped out, and as he was wrapping up his speech, all of these individuals that work for the Trump campaign started to embrace each other and celebrate. This is a huge day for Donald Trump, and he is probably in the back totally changing up his strategy, because yes, he had a victory speech probably prepared for Indiana, but I don't know how many people really saw this coming from Ted Cruz. Again, he had on his boxing gloves this morning, and he was going after Donald Trump with a vengeance. All right, I've got some tweets I want to read to you. Jen, I drink your tears. Very cool. Very nice screen name. It's not all that bad. At least Ted Cruz can have a career juggling snakes with Glenn Beck now. Jim says Trump Republican, Cruz conservative, Hillary Democrat, and Bernie a socialist. So that's Jim Smith. I think Trump will probably just celebrate tonight rather than say anything of substance. So that is Salas tweeting me that. Thank you for your feedback, Salas. We appreciate you watching. Kid says, ecstatic. It's now time to turn attention to the candidate America can't allow as president, and that's Hillary. Hashtag Trump 2016. You know what, Kid? I think that's a great point, and I think you're right. I don't even think Trump will bother with Kasich. I think Trump will go straight to Hillary Clinton. It's one of those. I think you're exactly right. I think if he continues to ignore Kasich's not getting a lot of attention naturally. We barely see him. When we do, he really is sticking to those smaller venues, mom and pop shops, and that's ground game, and that's historically how they've done it. But this is a different realm. Social media is so powerful, and that's one of the reasons that Donald Trump is so far ahead of the game. All right, Jim says, what do you think if Trump and Cruz and Hillary and Bernie all run? What would happen? Well, I don't think that's an option anymore, Jim, but I appreciate you watching. Thank you for your participation. Nelson says that he shouldn't even mention Cruz, just attack crooked Hillary. And so that's Nelson. Thanks so much for watching. All Republicans will change colors and support Trump. That's also from Nelson. Hopefully you're right. Steven says, eliminated. Nice play on words, Stephen Quinn. We appreciate you watching. Relief is my response to Cruz suspending his campaign. Jupiter, you are a viewer you've been watching for a very long time, so I appreciate you chiming in today. Does this mean that Trump will definitely wrap up the nomination, or is there a chance at the convention for an upset? I can't even answer that because this entire campaign has been so unpredictable. So I'd love to say he's in like sin, but at the same time, you never know. All of the GOP might all rally around Kasich and could truly shake things up. Perhaps I don't know what the rules are. There was all sorts of exchanging of delegates and things like that I didn't quite comprehend. So perhaps there could be a shakeup. As it looks right now that he's got the nomination. I'm shocked it took so long, says Brian Birch. Honestly, will Ted urge support to Trump among his supporters? Brian from Oklahoma City. I used to live in El Reno, Oklahoma, so thanks so much for watching, Brian. I don't think there's any way. There has been such a toxic relationship between Ted Cruz and Donald Trump as of late. It didn't start out that way, but it certainly did come to a head. It did not start out that way, though. Remember, the media, especially the more liberal media, really went after Ted and said, why aren't you causing a stink about some of the stuff Trump is saying? There's a lot of activity happening in front of us. Why aren't you harder on Trump? Why do you let Trump get away with the stuff you let him get away with? And I think Ted wanted to just stay above the fray. That didn't last for very long. But again, Brian Birch saying he is surprised that it took so long. Humor Y, thanks so much for watching. Excited to have you. Nelson, Trump will be the next president of the United States. Zach, no, Trump versus Hillary, nope. This is bad. This is really bad, says Zach. Zach, let me know what you, give me more information on that. What's your take? I want to know more from you. Saint Rudy, I wonder if Cruz supporters will support Trump. I don't know. Surely some of them will. Surely there are some that are just Republicans, and that's the way they're going to vote. We are going to see here. All right, so let me see if I change out my feed.
I can do it, and I can put Michigan, Ohio, and Pennsylvania.
Yeah. Here's the deal.
Why am I hearing other people's voices? I'm not crazy, right? You guys hear that too? It's not just in my head. Sam says, no tears, only greatness now. 1/1/2029. Thanks so much for watching. Sam, Trump rocks, Cruz bulks. Nelson, you are all over Twitter right now, and that's what I like about you. Here's someone says, still waiting for Ted to come out and say, just kidding, guys. I was waiting for, honestly, I suspected because he's had so many, because Cruz has pursued so many desperate looking PR attempts lately. For instance, collaboration with Kasich. That felt like a desperate PR attempt. The next was, like less than a week later, he selected his VP and he wasn't even, and then today I felt like this morning it was a desperate PR attempt to go, fists blazing towards Donald Trump. Absolutely. So I wondered if somebody from his campaign leaked that he was going to quit today, or he was going to suspend his campaign so we would all take him live, because again, he was on every major network live, and I thought he just wasn't going to do it, and it was just going to be him on the screen for a long time. So that's what I was concerned with. But he surprised me. He surprised me. He actually went through with it. Ted Cruz has suspended his campaign. Let's see here. I'm going to read some more of your tweets. Thanks, everybody, for watching. Ted, this is TJ Roth. Ted crashed his campaign with no survivors. AJ, I'm glad the Zodiac Killer won't be in the Oval Office. Technically I don't think he's the Zodiac Killer, but I understand where you're coming from. How is the Republican National Committee going to deal with this? Do they publicly support Trump now? I don't know. This has been the most insane campaign of my lifetime. I would love for that to be the case, but it just seems like they are so stubborn. And see, it feels like they have been against him from the beginning. And I am fascinated. I cannot wait to see how it all unfolds. But I do hope that the Republican National Committee will just give in. Susie Cutie Pie says Trump has a pretty good chance of winning. Kasich, not so much. That's a great point. I think hopefully the GOP will acknowledge that, and hopefully they won't make it more difficult for him. Hopefully they will get behind him. Let's see. Oh, Doug. Thanks for watching, Doug. Oh, no. Wow. Eric Kinsey says, time to tap Kasich for VP and unite the party. We need to start on Hillary. I'm not so sure that people want Kasich as their VP, and I don't think Kasich would take it. And I think Kasich has been too negative towards Trump for Trump to be humble enough to offer something like that up. Jason says that I should become vice president for Trump. Jason, thank you. I think so too. I think I'd be really good at it. I would be like free lollipop in the school cafeterias. Sorry about the last few years. Jay McLaren Harris says Trump is a very good man. Maybe even Cruz could be his running mate. Well, thank you for your contribution. I don't know if that's even possible. I think that they loathe each other at this point. Salas says that Cruz quitting, Trump winning, it's Illuminati confirmed. I thought Jay-Z and Beyonce confirmed that a long time ago, but I get what you're saying. Hilarious. I'm going to show this tweet because this is funny. This is from Steve-O, waiting for Trump to react. Take a look at this. It's pretty funny. That's pretty funny. So we are all waiting for Donald Trump to take the stage. I do imagine that he's got a lot of people around him, and it is a total game changer, because before he was just going to gloat that he won Indiana, and now he has to react to the fact that Ted Cruz, his arch nemesis, has dropped out.
Republican Ted Cruz ends his presidential campaign after a
Ryan Smith says Trump will play it cool today. He's been more professional lately. Thank you for your coverage. Hard to find good live feeds. Ryan Smith, thanks so much for watching. We're excited to see you. Trump is busy editing speech. That's good. That's a very good I agree with you. Cruz never had a chance to begin with. The general election would be his undoing due to electoral. Oh, well, yeah. Does Bernie's victory mean anything tonight? I didn't even know Bernie won, and I haven't even been told that. So I will wait to comment when I have a better understanding. It's about time Lion Ted dropped out. We don't want a Dracula lookalike as president, says Mike. Well, AJ can't stump the Trump. Brian, high energy. Kinsey bringing that election analysis hashtag bye Ted. I said girl bye, that's what I tweeted. Girl bye, and I also tweeted pray for Glenn Beck. Pray for him. Hey, it's not all that bad. Oh, I've already read that one. But Jen, I appreciate your tweet. Trump is always humble to the opponents he defeats. Absolutely. That's a very good observation. Even if the opponent is the Zodiac Killer. All right, well, the Zodiac Killer. I'll pretend I didn't read that out loud. We all know he's not right, that it's just an internet joke. Cruz needs to get back. Well, I'm not gonna. Well, James is saying that Cruz is a Canadian. I'll Cliff's Notes it. Interesting. Howard K says it's going to be a Trump Cruz ticket. Bank on it. Oh, look at that yellow. Yellow from the other side. This made me laugh. Ah. All right, we're gonna go back to New York City, or we're just gonna look at this red blot. That's not what I meant to do. There we go. BreadyGood.com is trying to get a shout out too. I can read it. I could tell. We love you. We love watching you at. You just want me to say the URL. I did it. You're welcome. Oh wow. Steve first says, check this quote from Trump already. I think he's going to be harsh tonight. Steve Firth, thanks for the tweet. Lion Ted Cruz consistently said that he will and must win Indiana. If he doesn't, he should drop out of the race, stop wasting time and money. But he did do that, so I don't think he's going to react harshly. I think he's going to be kind and humble because he needs Ted Cruz's people. He needs that support, even if Ted doesn't give it to him. He needs Ted's supporters to head in his direction. Donald/Kinsey 2016. I'm down. Cool, Steven. I am too. I'm ready to go. I'm not going to read that, James. Check yourself before you wreck yourself. Crystal asks, why does everybody hate Ted Cruz? I don't know if anybody hates Ted Cruz, and I can't answer that. You would have to ask that on your own Twitter. I don't think anybody hates anybody. Hopefully no one hates anyone. Big Beautiful Wall tweets me, Trump is already president. Thank you for your contribution. Dan sends me the Maury woman that looks like Ted. That will never get old. Mike, thank you for making me laugh. TJ Roth, thanks for reading my tweet. Oh, you're welcome. Will Trump swing hard left in the general election and win over Democrats? If anyone he can do it, he can, right? Very interesting. Let's see here. Aaron says, Trump had it all along. You would be cute as his VP. Can you guys write the people that can actually make those decisions and tell them that? Thank you. Thank you for your continued live coverage online. Great for us cable cutters. Trump fan. I won't actually read your name, but thank you for watching. You know who you are. Okay, so here's somebody that says, well, this person says, I did not like Ted Cruz more than I disliked Bernie. He needs to be thrown into the same prison cell as Hillary. Tell me why. I need to know why you are not fans of Ted Cruz. Bernie's win was redistributed to the people who needed it more, says Jen. Joey says, I've always said that Lion Ted's #1 obstacle to getting elected is the fact that he looks like Count Chocula. Bill says, Trump's a big guy. He's crashed Cruz with no survivors. He's in charge here. Up, 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 up.
Well, thank you very much, everyone. I want to start by, as always, thanking my family, my wife, Melania, my kids. They're not kids anymore, but they're kids as far as I'm concerned. They'll always be my kids. And I want to thank my great parents who are looking down right now, and my brother looking down on us. I want to thank my entire family, including Marianne, Elizabeth, Robert. And it's been some unbelievable day and evening and year, and never have been through anything like this, but it's a beautiful thing to watch and a beautiful thing to behold. And we're going to make America great again. We're going to make America great again. So important. The people of Indiana have been incredible. I started, as you know, not very long ago, about 6 weeks ago, and I was told I had a 20-point deficit. And I went there and I worked very hard and I campaigned and I made lots of speeches and met lots of incredible people. Incredible people. You don't get better. And the crowds got bigger and bigger, and toward the end it was like I didn't want to leave. I almost said, maybe I'll just never leave. And it resonated somehow. And we had a tremendous victory tonight. It was a tremendous victory. And I have to thank Bobby Knight. Boy, Bobby Knight was incredible. He was incredible. I always say about, people like that, there aren't many, but it's called tough, smart, and they know how to win. And that's what our country needs. We have to win again. We have to know how to win. And we haven't won. We've been losing all the time. We lose with our military. We can't beat ISIS. We lose with trade. We lose with borders. We lose with everything. We're not going to lose. We're going to start winning again, and we're going to win big league, believe me. So when I got back tonight and I started watching all of the different networks, I could see immediately that we were doing very well, and it really looks like a massive victory, and looks like we win all 57 delegates as And I must say, in staying in various places in Indiana, we had, I turned on the television and all I saw was negative ads, negative one after another, and I called my people and I said, how can we win? It's just constantly, and it was the same as Florida. There have been 60,000 negative ads. I got it right from you folks, okay? 60,000. In fact, 2 weeks ago it was 55,000. Now it's 60,000 negative ads. most of which are absolutely false and disgusting. And I said, how can anybody endure this? I had one evening 2 nights ago where literally they had 5 ads on in between segments of a show that I was watching. And I said, that's just incredible. And the people are so smart. They don't buy it. They get it. And tremendous amounts of money were spent. Millions and millions of dollars. And they were comparing it. They think it was probably $8 million was spent against me. And we spent $900,000. So, I mean, to me, that's the way it's supposed to be. That's something that makes me feel really, really very good. And now we're going to Nebraska, where I just hear we're doing really wonderfully. I look forward to that very much. And West Virginia, and we're going to get those miners back to work. I'll tell you what, we're going to get those miners back to work. We're not going to be Hillary Clinton. And I watched her 3 or 4 weeks ago when she was talking about the miners as if they were just numbers. And she was talking about she wants the mines closed and she will never let them work again. Let me tell you, the miners in West Virginia and Pennsylvania, which was so great to me last week, and Ohio, and all over, they're going to start to work again, believe me. You're going to be proud again to be miners. So we'll be going there. I must say, this tremendous run that we've had started with New York when we had almost 62%. And don't forget, that's with 3 people. So 62% with 2 people is a massive landslide, but 63%, almost just a little over 62. When you have that kind of a number with 3 people, it's actually unheard of. And all throughout, it was 17 people, then 15, then 12, and, you know, it's tremendous. And we were getting very high numbers. And some of the numbers, in my opinion, that I got in the early stages where I'd win a state with 32%, but there were 14 people, I think that might be actually more and better than getting 62% in New York. But we never got credit for that. But now we don't need the credit because we're going after Hillary Clinton. She will not... She will not be a great president. She will not be a good president. She will be a poor president. She doesn't understand trade. Her husband signed, perhaps in the history of the world, the single worst trade deal ever done. It's called NAFTA. And I was witness to the carnage over the last 6 weeks especially. Now, I've known Syracuse and I've known Poughkeepsie, and I've known all of the different places that I visited in New York, and then Pennsylvania, and then Maryland, which treated me so great, and the people are incredible, and all of the different states, Connecticut, and I've witnessed what it's done really firsthand, and it has been indeed carnage. And we're going to change it around. We're not going to let Carrier and all of these companies just think that they can move, go to another country, make their product, sell it back to us, and we get only one thing. We get unemployment. Not going to happen anymore, folks. It's not going to happen anymore. We're going to bring back our jobs, and we're going to keep our jobs. We're not going to let companies leave. Now, if they want to go to a different state, good luck. Compete. But when they start going to different countries, and in many cases countries that devalue their currency and make it impossible for our companies to compete, that's not going to happen, not going to happen. And if they want to do it anyway, there will be consequences, and there will be very, very serious consequences. I have to tell you that I've competed all my life. Competitive person. All my life, I've been in competitions, different competitions, whether it's sports or business or now for 10 months politics. And I have to tell you that I have met some of the most incredible competitors that I have ever competed against right here on the Republican Party. You know, we started off with that 17 number. And just so you understand, Ted Cruz, I don't know if he likes me or if he doesn't like me, but he is one hell of a competitor. He is a tough, smart guy. And he has got an amazing future. He's got an amazing future. So I want to congratulate Ted. And I know how tough it is. It's tough. It's tough. I've had some moments where it was not looking so good. And it's not a great feeling. And so I understand how Ted feels, and Heidi and their whole beautiful family. And I want to just say, though, that one tough competitor. And I can say that for the others. I mean, Chris Christie, who endorsed me, incredible guy. Dr. Ben Carson, who was right up there, one of the first. He just called me and said, it's a movement you've got going. We've got to do something, because I'll tell you what, it's an incredible movement. And Dr. Ben Carson endorsed me, and I want to tell you, that is an incredible man. And we want to keep them totally involved, because we're going to win. We're going to win in November. And we're going to win big, and it's going to be America first. You know, I made a speech the other day, and I talked about how we're the policemen for the world, how we protect other countries, and they don't respect us, and they don't take care of us, and they don't treat us right in many cases. And that's not going to happen. Now, we can keep things going, and we're going to keep things going very nicely, but we owe $21 trillion. It's 19 now, but with a budget that was recently done, soon it will be $21 trillion. And we're just not in the position that we were in 30 years ago, 40 years ago, 50 years ago, when a lot of these things took place and began taking place. So we're going to have unbelievably good relationships with other countries. But likewise, they have to treat us fairly, and they have to understand that what we've been doing over the years has been so wrong and so unfair to the United States and to its people and to its taxpayers. So that will change, and I will tell you, they're going to end up liking us better than they do right now. They're going to respect us. In this building right upstairs, I have the largest bank in the world from China. The relationship is fantastic. We have great relationships with many foreign countries, but they have to respect us, and they have to understand where we're coming from. And you know, it is a two-way street. And the two-way street means that we're going down one side and they're coming up the other. And we're going to meet, and we are going to have something that's going to be really fabulous. Now, if that can't happen, if for some reason they want the system to continue the way it's going now, which is unfair and not good, where we're spending trillions and trillions of dollars, probably $4 trillion in the Middle East, and we have to rebuild our infrastructure, our roads, we have to rebuild our bridges, our airports, our hospitals in this country. We've become close to a third world country. You look at some of our airports, it's third world, and then you go to other countries and you see places like you've never seen. So I have to say that we are going to turn it around. We're going to build up our military bigger, better, stronger than ever before. It's the cheapest thing we can do. And we're going to have to take out ISIS, and we're going to have to take them out fast. We can't allow that cancer to continue. We cannot allow it to continue. And, you know, one group that's been so incredible to me are the vets, the veterans. And they've been treated so badly, so badly. And we're going to get that straightened out. Now, one of the things that just happened, which to me is very exciting, and it's happened now with 2 or 3, but the Rasmussen poll came out yesterday, and in that poll, I'm now leading Hillary Clinton. A lot of good things happened. We're now leading Hillary Clinton by 2 points. And that's going to continue because they're not going to be able to do it, folks. They're not going to be able to make great trade deals. We have such bad deals. They're not going to be able to do what we can do with the military. They're not going to be able to do what we're going to do on the border, including the wall. We're going to have unbelievably great relationships with the Hispanics. The Hispanics have been so incredible to me. They want jobs. Everybody wants jobs. The African Americans want jobs. You look at what's going on. They want jobs. And we're going to bring back our jobs, and we're going to save our jobs, and people are going to have great jobs again. And this country, which is very, very divided in so many different ways, is going to become one beautiful, loving country. And we're going to love each other. We're going to cherish each other. We're going to take care of each other. And we're going to have great economic development. And we're not going to let other countries take it away from us, because that's what's been happening for far too many years. And we're not going to do it anymore. We're not going to do it anymore. I want to thank and congratulate the Republican National Committee and Reince Priebus, who I just spoke to. He's doing a tremendous job. It's not an easy job when he had 17 egos, and now I guess he's down to one. I don't know. Is there a second? I mean, is there a second? I don't know. I'm going to have to ask you folks to explain the status of that, but he's done an amazing job, and I think we're going to see something really, really fantastic. I also want to thank my staff, Paul, Corey, Hope. I mean, these people, what we've been doing has been incredible. The work, has been unreal. And Jared, married to my daughter, Ivanka. I mean, honestly, you know, Jared is a very successful real estate person, but I actually think he likes politics more than he likes real estate, I must tell you. And he's very good at politics. So again, folks, this has been an amazing evening. I didn't expect this. I didn't expect it. And what Ted did is really a very brave thing to do, and a great thing to do, because we want to bring unity to the Republican Party. We have to bring unity. It's so much easier if we have it. And many, many people are calling that you wouldn't even believe. The media, the press, they wouldn't believe. People that have said the worst things about me. I've never had things said about me like this. You know, in my businesses, I've always been very respected. People didn't talk to me this way. But in politics, it's easy. The worst things. And they're calling now, and they're calling us all, and they're saying, we'd love to get on the train, the Trump train, they call it, but we'd love to get on the team. And I actually spoke to one today, and who was vicious. I mean, this guy was unbelievable. And I said, I love having you, and, you know, I think it's terrific. But after what you said about me, how can you possibly join our team? And he said, Mr. Trump, don't even think about it. Don't worry about it. There'll be no problem. In other words, he's a politician. There's no problem. I would have had a hard time. But we have a lot of people coming on, lots of congressmen. I have to thank Jeff Sessions, Senator Jeff Sessions, one of the most respected men or people in Congress. And so many others. I mean, Sarah Palin has been from day one incredible. Jerry Falwell Jr., Liberty University. I mean, he is something. He is really a special person. They've done an incredible job, and everybody goes through Liberty. We all go through Liberty, and somehow he liked what I was saying, and perhaps he liked the way I said it, but he's a special guy, and he really has helped me. And so many pastors and ministers, and tonight I see that I won with the evangelicals. The evangelical vote was for Trump. And there's no greater honor, just no greater honor. And we're going to work together for many, many years. We're going to make it so good. We're going to be saying Merry Christmas again. We're going to be saying, remember what we're going to be saying. And I won with women. I love winning with women. But I won with women, we won with men, we won with Hispanics, we won with African Americans, we won with virtually every category. So it's just been an amazing evening. So again, I want to congratulate Ted Cruz. He is a tough, smart competitor. I want to thank my wife and my family. It's an incredible family. I want to thank my staff, both my staff and my thousands and thousands of people that work for the Trump Organization, and perhaps, in all fairness, more importantly on this evening and for what we're doing currently, my staff, where we're running for the presidency. And remember this, our theme is very simple. It's Make America Great Again. We will make America great again. We will start winning again. You will be so proud of this country very, very soon. Thank you all. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much.
All right, I'm on live with Fox 10 News Now, Samia Khan, who is watching from afar. She has been watching this with us. Samia, I saw some of your tweets during this. I loved the one about you not believing what you were seeing, what you were reading, about Donald Trump's reaction to Ted Cruz. He was so humble and so kind to Ted Cruz. Am I wrong?
No, you're not wrong. And one of the things I just tweeted, and I wasn't saying this sarcastically at all, Donald Trump sounds presidential. And I really believe it. I really feel like he wants to be this guy that unifies the party. We're seeing all these tweets. I mean, the head of the Republican Party now has basically come out and said, you know what? We need to unify behind Donald Trump. This is huge. I mean, you and I did not expect this 2 hours ago when I left work.
No, and I was freaking out. You covered it a couple times, and I don't think I played it yet. And you played it a couple of times. Do you feel like Ted Cruz had first of all, he's got, and yes, I see people tweeting me, asking me if I'm going to keep reading tweets. I am going to keep reading tweets, so please tweet me. First of all, I didn't see that Glenn Beck was fasting, and he said he was telling the people of Indiana not to screw this up, or he was going to be on suicide watch. And
Are
so,
you serious?
yeah, and so Glenn Beck was literally fasting over this. I mean, he was one of Cruz's biggest supporters, and then it felt like Cruz had a total meltdown this morning when he totally snapped on Donald Trump, and a part of me felt like it was a PR stunt until I saw that speech where he was suspending his campaign, and a part of me, especially when he was walking off the stage, he looked broken. And so I just cannot imagine to be a fly on the wall right now around that family and to be around that campaign. And Trump was so humble and so kind to him. There's no way they could be mad watching that speech. If they did, I doubt they even invested in it.
Right. You can't. I mean, what is Cruz going to say to that? Like you mentioned, I tweeted just in shock. Is Donald Trump actually being nice to Ted Cruz? And I know some of our regular viewers, some Trump supporters, tweeted me, reminding me that, you know, Donald Trump is always very gracious in these sort of situations. He's never bad-mouth anyone after they've dropped out.
Right. And that's I was wondering if he was even going to address him, but he made it a point several times. Also, one of your tweets that I thought was hilarious, and I caught it too, I love winning with women. And did you see Ivanka in the background? Like fell back a little bit, and a smile crawled across her face. I mean, and he's had so much criticism for things he said about women. I mean, Ted Cruz was criticizing him about it this morning, but women love him. You talk about President Obama having some sort of he has some sort of just charm that, whether you like him as a president or not, he is charming, and you want to go get drinks with him, or you'd go to a basketball game with him.
You want to hang out with him. I usually use the word swag. I'm like, President Obama just says swag. It's whatever you want to describe it as. Charisma, charm, swagger. There's just a certain presence about him. And President Obama and Donald Trump are very different people, but I think they both embody that. They have this presence. You want to be around their energy. Whether you agree with them or not, you can't deny that it would be entertaining to hang out with Donald Trump for a day.
And have you seen any of Cruz's speech yet? Or have you, I'm going to play it again, but have you even seen any of it yet? He went over his resume. I don't think any of us would have known it was coming had it not been leaked by his campaign manager that he was quitting, because the beginning of it sounded just like, hey, here are all of the great things I've accomplished and here's what my objectives were. But he ends it with, this is not the time. And then you kind of felt the defeat.
Right. Honestly, I don't think anyone expected this morning. You know, even if Ted Cruz had lost today, if someone asked me, you know, if Ted Cruz loses today, will he still be in the race? I would have just said yes, because typically we can kind of sense when someone is dropping out, or typically we can tell, well, if they don't win this state, they're highly likely going to drop out. And this just, to me, came out of nowhere. And even Donald Trump said he wasn't expecting that.
Right. I have a tweet from Twit Hunter. It's nice that Trump showed some compassion to Cruz, releasing him from the Victor brand mousetrap he got himself caught in. Julian sometimes watches us from France. So Julian's now watching from France, switched over to YouTube. Julian says, hi, Samia.
Hi.
Nick Stevens says, it's finally happening. Say it with me, President Donald Trump. And I don't know if you've accidentally almost done it. We've been covering Trump since last summer, Samia. I accidentally almost say President Trump all the time.
You know what? I honestly think I may have slipped once in the last year. I have.
All right, you're forgiven. Let's see here. Sergio says, our programming is enjoyable.
Well, thanks, Sergio, for tuning in. You know, you can always watch by subscribing to our YouTube channel, or just following Kinsey and I on Twitter if you don't already.
Samia Fox
we're always
10.
tweeting.
Yes, absolutely. Loud and Obnoxious says, did he leave out liar, Donald Cruz, in regards to Ted? He seems to call him that a lot. I don't know.
I didn't hear him call him Lion Ted this time around.
No, but he was pretty hostile on Twitter earlier.
Right. I mean, once Ted Cruz actually suspended his campaign, I don't think Donald Trump said anything negative towards him.
And then George Finn says, Ted Cruz was cruising for a bruising, and it finally caught up with him. Thank you. Thank you, Ted Finn. All right, Keith says, I'm glad to see that real Donald Trump didn't call Ted Cruz Lion Ted. He has done an epic job. Yes, we discussed that. Let's see. One Twitter follower says, I wonder... No, Hillary Clinton doesn't refer to herself as that. Donald Trump calls her Crooked Hillary. A lot of people that do not like Glenn Beck responding on Twitter. Luke asks, Samia, do you think that Trump will attract Cruz supporters?
Well, it's interesting because you have to look at the Ted Cruz supporters. They're not going to go to Bernie Sanders, and they're not going to go to Hillary Clinton, so where else will they go? I mean, they could go to John Kasich, but at this point, I mean, I tweeted earlier today, so what's John Kasich up to tonight? I'm seeing tweets that John Kasich is still planning to stay in the race, but at this point, it's safe to assume that Donald Trump is the candidate. So if you are a diehard Ted Cruz supporter, given your options, I think you have no choice but to go with Donald Trump because he's the Republican candidate, and the Republican Party is the party that you most identify with. So that's my take.
And when I was talking earlier, I was trying to determine whether or not Trump would really go after Cruz, or if Trump's going to put all of his energy, Kasich. Will Trump waste his time, go after Kasich? Even responding to Kasich, I think, would be a waste of his time if Kasich tried to, go after him. Or is Trump just going to put all of his energy towards Hillary, which I think would be the best call?
Right. I actually think Trump's not going to even acknowledge that Kasich's still in it. It's one of those moves where it's almost, how do I explain it? supports Kasich, but kind of in its own way. It's like, Kasich, why are you even bothering at this point?
Right.
He's already sort of assuming that he is now the GOP nominee. That's what everyone else is saying. The real question is, though, should he be targeting just Hillary, or should he be focusing on Hillary and Bernie Sanders? Because, I've seen reports out there on the internet that it's still possible that the Democrats go to a contested convention.
Right.
It's still possible.
And I haven't
still has a shot.
I haven't even reported that Sanders won. Sanders won too, and I don't know if that's just now coming in because I haven't heard it come over our squawk box, but Sanders won Indiana, which is a huge deal. And there was a sweet moment during the Sanders rally we carried right before we were on to Cruz, where Sanders, I think somebody mentioned it to somebody, or somebody yelled it at him, and he kind of like sweetly looks over to the side and says, well, we don't know that yet. But he had a smile on his face, so I have a feeling somebody yelled at him that he won Indiana, and it was kind of interesting to see that happen live, him get that sort of reaction live. But a great reaction from Donald Trump, a humble speech from Cruz, a shocking speech from Cruz. I don't think any of us saw it coming, and it was also... I felt something was weird with Carly Fiorina, but I thought she was just defeated over the Indiana loss. I had no idea what was coming was that they were actually going to suspend the campaign. And how long have they been tag teaming? Not very long.
Less than a week. I think I was saying something like 6 days. There were a lot of jokes on the internet. If you just search Carly Fiorina right now on Twitter, there are a lot of jokes out there about Carly Fiorina, her time at Hewlett Packard, her time on the Ted Cruz campaign.
They're the Chris Humphreys and the Kim Kardashian of politics. It was over before it began.
About 72 days.
Yeah, and we got the big wedding and everything, and then it was like, oh, it's over. It's already over. Oh, that's right. All right, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to play Trump's victory. This is a live look right now, but I'm going to rewind. I'm going to play Trump's victory speech from the beginning, and then I'm going to go back to Carly and Cruz in case you guys missed it. But we are going to watch Trump again. If you are a Trump supporter, tweet our link. Let everybody know we're going to be watching Trump's speech out of New York in regards to his Indiana win and Cruz dropping out. We're going to start that over again right now. And you can get more of Samia and I on Fox 10 News Now, Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. Subscribe to our channel. Follow us on Twitter, Samia, Samia, Fox 10, Kinsey, Fox 10. And Samia and I will... Wait. Squawk box. Oh. No, it's nothing. It's nothing good, Samia. Don't get excited. All right, I'm gonna let Samia go, but I'm gonna play Donald Trump for you in New York in regards to his Indiana win next.